5 hours and 15 minutes, the longest quarterfinal in Wimbledon history. 39-year-old Novak Djokovic, against a challenger 15 years his junior, had to burn through all 5 sets just to survive. 2 tiebreaks, 1 roof controversy, and a relentless, unbroken chain of tension. And the line he delivered when it was over says everything about this match. A win is a win, even if you win ugly. The men's singles quarterfinals are complete. Djokovic's historic survival and defending champion Sinner's smooth advance. Let's unpack how these two giants ended up on a collision course in the semifinals. First, the main event of the day, Djokovic versus Felix Auger-Aliassime. World number 3 Auger-Aliassime had been riding momentum all tournament on the back of his powerful serve. Djokovic, on the other hand, is 39. His experience is second to none, but many expected the younger man to have the edge in a war of attrition. And from the very start, the match showed exactly that kind of grind. The first set alone lasted a staggering 82 minutes. The turning point of that marathon opener was the tiebreak. It wasn't until his 5th set point that Djokovic drew an error out of Auger-Aliassime and finally took it, 12-10. That's how much power and concentration it took just to win a single set. Djokovic had the early initiative, but this was only the beginning. Having lost the first set, Auger-Aliassime didn't back down. He hit straight back to take the second, 6-3. It was the resilience of a world number 3, leveling the match at a set apiece. And it was exactly here that an off-court variable crept in. With the match level, the decision came at 7:40 in the evening to close the center court roof. Djokovic objected to the closure. He didn't want the flow of the match disrupted. Play continued indoors, under the closed roof. Djokovic took the third set 6-3 to edge ahead again. But Auger-Aliassime was tenacious. He clinched the 4th in a tiebreak, 7-6, forcing a deciding 5th set. 2 sets apiece, nearly 5 hours elapsed, everything now riding on one final set. The deciding 5th set, and once again, the match headed for a tiebreak. The conclusion of a battle that had raged for over 5 hours would come down to just a handful of points. And here, it was Djokovic's craft that shone. He opened with an exquisite drop shot winner to seize the momentum. He pounced on a string of Auger-Aliassime errors to lead 4-2 at the change of ends. From there, Djokovic closed out the 5th set tiebreak, 7-4. Final score, 7-6, 3-6, 6-3, 6-7, 7-6. Match time, 5 hours and 15 minutes. With that, this match was recorded as the longest quarterfinal in Wimbledon history. Djokovic's post-match interview carried both the joy of victory and the honest concerns of a 39-year-old veteran. Honestly, it was one of the best matches I've been part of on this court in my career, he said, thanking the crowd who stayed to the very end. At the same time, he didn't hide his worries about a body that had just burned through 5 sets. I wish it was the final, so I wouldn't have to worry about how the body feels tomorrow, but I'm happy I won. A pointed joke. If this had been the final rather than the semi-final, he wouldn't have to worry about a next match at all. He also described the essence of a match like this. There's a lot of managing the nerves and the extreme tension you feel out there. And then, the line that sums the whole thing up. A win is a win, even if you win ugly. With this victory, Djokovic reached his 55th career Grand Slam semi-final, the most by any man in history. The defeated Auger-Aliassime didn't hide his respect for his opponent either. We've seen him so much, and yet it's so impressive that he does it time and time again. On the same day, defending champion and world number 1 Jannik Sinner reached the semifinals the complete opposite way to Djokovic. A clean win that spared his energy. Sinner beat Germany's Jan-Lennard Struff 7-5, 7-6, 6-3. He struggled a little early on. In the beginning, he started better than me, Sinner admitted. I was struggling a little bit. Then I started to serve a little bit better, and I got into the match, he explained. But there's one story worth pausing on here, the journey of the defeated Struff. At 36, Struff had become the oldest man in the Open era to reach his first Grand Slam quarterfinal. In the 3rd round, he had even pulled off the upset of the 8th seed, Daniil Medvedev. That veteran's fairy tale came to a stop against Sinner. Sinner honored his beaten opponent. He's a very, very tough player. He deserves everything he has achieved in his career. And he added, I'm very happy to be back in the semifinals here. Let's wrap it up. On the men's side, this was a day where 2 giants reached the semifinals, each in his own way. On one side, 39-year-old legend Djokovic, who endured 5 hours and 15 minutes, the longest quarterfinal in Wimbledon history. On the other, defending champion and world number 1 Sinner, who cruised through while conserving his energy. And now, the clash fans have been waiting for is set. Djokovic versus Sinner. It will be their third Wimbledon semi-final meeting in just the past 4 years. The veteran who just set a new record for most Grand Slam semi-finals against the ruler of a new era, carrying the fatigue of a 5-hour war on his back. Who do you think wins this generational clash, the craft of a weary legend or the power of a young champion? Drop your prediction in the comments, and if you want to see how this semi-final ends, hit subscribe and turn on notifications.